afternoon. Today is December 13th, 2012, and here's the final broadcast for the year from Texan TV News. I'm Kayla Fritz.
And I'm Lucy Pound. Today, we are going to share with you a series of entries for the Fox News Challenge by the Tarleton State University Fall Broadcast Journalism students.
First up is Katie Gibbs and Kelly Wolf with their story on the Rape Kit Backlog and Safety Act.
Recently in the news, the issue of the rape kit backlog has been on the agendas of Congress and the House of Representatives. The rape kit backlog is a backlog of DNA evidence from unsolved rape cases. When a sexual assault has taken place, specified nurses conduct an exam that collects evidence after an assault has taken place at hospitals just like these. The issue is that there is an estimated 400,000 untested rape kits in the United States. The Sexual Assault Forensic Evidence Registry, or SAFER Act, is a bipartisan, no-cost bill that will create a registry and track the status of the DNA evidence. The act will allow law enforcement to target the backlog and hopefully try to eliminate it. By doing this, it will also inform victims and the public about the backlog throughout the country. The act is sponsored by Senator John Cornyn in the Senate and was introduced to the House of Representatives on December 4th, 2012. The act will not cost any additional money. The money will simply be reallocated from the existing funding. The bill is expected to be approved very soon. When asked how important the SAFER Act is, Cornyn's office issued a statement saying the act will provide state and local governments with the resources to reduce the backlog of untested rape kits. It will help find criminals and convict them when the case goes to court, and finally, it will help the victims. We recently spoke to Megan Earhart from RAINN, the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, about the SAFER Act and the rape kit backlog issue. In the interview, she mentioned what the SAFER Act is and how Cornyn is involved.
Today, we just attended a press conference on Capitol Hill about the SAFER Act. What SAFER will do is bring transparency to the DNA rape kit testing process. She sponsored it, or she introduced it in the Senate, and then today we went and it was introduced in the House of Representatives.
Then we asked in response, what cities have the biggest backlogs, and where can you find untested rape kits in Texas?
I don't know off the top of my head. I know that we have worked with media from different cities who have targeted the backlog, and then once the resources are given, these cities and jurisdictions do a good job of trying to eliminate it. It's different by jurisdiction, so it's different everywhere in the country where these places are. I would recommend contacting either the local police and see, because like I said, it's different in every jurisdiction.
Next up, Lacey Massey and Savannah Trantham with their story on Kill, No Kill shelters.
Now, Jordan Simmons and Kiana Perez report on animal abandonment around Stephenville.
Animal abandonment is one of the leading causes of animals in shelters. With hundreds of college students attending college and leaving for winter break, summer vacation, do they play a large role in animal abandonment? Animal Control Officer Scott Whiteley said, "Animal abandonment isn't as bad as it used to be. With college students, every now and then you will get a college student who is in a hurry to leave and leave behind their dog." Officer Whiteley said, "People don't know is even if it's a good dog and it is abandoned, being alone for too long can lead it to becoming unsocial and skittish, also catching fleas and ticks." Whiteley said, "The real way to stop animal abandonment is through a good community communication. Luckily, those I work with are great at letting me know if there is an animal abandoned. It's better to put down 2 animals than having to do 100 the following year." As Officer Whiteley said, animals abandoned left on the street that are not neutered can multiply fast. 2 breeding cats and their offspring can theoretically produce, the first year, 12 kittens, the second year, 72 kittens, the third year, 432 kittens, the fourth year, 2,592 kittens, the fifth year, 15,552 kittens, the 10th year, 120,932,235 kittens. In total, over the 10 years, 145,118,820 kittens. If you spayed and neutered only half of each generation each of the 10 years, only 354,288 cats would be born at the end of those 10 years. This means 144,764,532 unwanted births would be prevented, equals lives saved. PETA representative said, "Behavior problems are the most common reasons why people give up their dogs, and they are the second most common reason for cats. Behavior problems can be very serious, like biting or aggression dogs, but more often they are in common for dogs that have issues, like inappropriate elimination, destructiveness, barking or meowing, or not getting along with other animals in the home." Joyce Rue has experienced animal abandonment firsthand.
Rue, and I retired in May after teaching high school for 40 years. And I keep up with a lot of my students after they leave high school. They come back and visit with me, they email me, they sometimes even ask me for help. And it's not unusual for boys to get dogs their sophomore year in college when they move out into an apartment and then abandon those dogs. I've had emails and calls from boys that want me to adopt them, which I can. I have 2 Humane Society adoptees, but it is a problem more for boys than for girls. They'll abandon their dogs, leave them with a friend and never go back and get the dog. Occasionally just dump them beside the road or take them to a shelter.
Up next, Alex Soki and Shawnee Wagner with their piece on teens and speeding.
Next are Sam Norman, Houston Hall, and Paul Falgren about the drought in Texas.
Well, I've lived here all my life and ranched all my life, so I've been at it a while. Well, the drought's been really bad in that I don't have enough water on all the places I own and lease. I just recently had to move off 300 acres that I own because the tanks dried up, and I tried to hook up a windmill and the water wasn't there. So I scattered them around. I sold a few cows last Friday, and it's pretty bad. But I remember being this bad when I was a boy in the 50s. That's the last time I remember being really bad. We've had a lot warmer days, summer, and it seems to me like the wind blows more than it used to. When I was a boy, I mean, it didn't seem like it blew this much, except in the 50s it was pretty windy, but a different time. But we had a lot of wind and not enough rain.
Rainfall has been below average for the past 3 years for much of Texas. The lack of rainfall has placed Texas in a severe drought. The average rainfall for Texas is between 8 inches and 32 inches. But in the past 2 to 3 years, the average rainfall has been well below what is considered average. With the price of livestock, feed expenses, farmers and ranchers have struggled to survive. However, in regards to trying to contact state and local governments, we tried to find information pertaining to the issue. However, they failed to comment. With the mixed feed, its cost is anywhere between $300 and $450 per ton. The drought has caused an increase in price of hay, which was once one of the cheapest ways to feed livestock. With the drought becoming worse with every passing day, farmers and ranchers taking drastic measures to keep themselves from going bankrupt have attempted to find other means of taking care of their endeavors.
Couple of programs that's available: emergency loans. Anytime a county has been designated a Secretary of Agricultural Disaster County or a presidential declaration, that makes that county automatically eligible for emergency loans. You know, I've been amazed. I grew up in Colorado. I live in Texas now. I've always been amazed at agricultural producers making the best of the resources they have, whether it's tank water, whether it's well water. Planning is huge. Planning is huge. There's a lot of people. Emergency conservation. It's called the ECP program, Emergency Conservation Program. We spend all the money that Washington, D.C. sent to us in that program. And it was good because we had producers. That was 2000. And I would say the 2011 drought was even worse than the 2000. We had a lot of producers that their tank water level got dangerously low, whether water that was not drinkable or water level got so low that animals bogged down and they had to move them out of those pastures.
Coming up next are Alyssa Wynn, Monet Gerald, and Travis Allison with their cost of environment for living green.
With global warming becoming a more common topic of conversation and storms becoming more and more deadly each year, people are trying to come up with products to help preserve our environment. But annual activists are questioning whether these products are actually helping the environment or hurting it.
Vehicle that we have would be our Chevrolet Bolt. It's an all-electric vehicle. It does have a gasoline engine, but a lot of people believe that when it runs out of electricity, it drives, propels the vehicle, but it doesn't. It drives a generator, which produces electricity to propel that vehicle, which it takes away that fear in electric vehicles that I can't get back home. I don't have enough electricity to get back home. So it's the only one of its kind that does that. We also have in the Buick LaCrosse, we have what we call e-assist, which actually when you stop that vehicle like in traffic, it shuts off. And what that does for the environment is just strictly keeps the environment is emission free because of that vehicle. Now here at the Dodge store for $13, our pickup will actually have the e-assist, where it will shut off. And it's the first time that's being done in a pickup. You pull up in traffic and stop, engine shuts off. And you touch that accelerator, it comes right back on. It's seamless. You don't even know it.
A lot of things that we do trying to be green in the long run are really difficult and damaging to the planet. Another example is the electric cars use cobalt in the batteries. Madagascar has been just devastated, where the lemurs and those types of animals, and they have some very unique species that are only found in Madagascar that are really suffering because of mining for cobalt, and they've just pretty much destroyed much of their country for cobalt mining, and now they're out of it. And we're having a back order all these cars with electric, these batteries, because they're running out of cobalt. But we've just damaged all this habitat in an effort to be green and drive cars that don't have emissions. So one thing that you can do is really study as a consumer what you're purchasing and what the long-term effects of that purchase or the manufacturing of that item are.
Keep gasoline engines from emitting all the carbohydrates that they do. That's helping the environment. I think what some people are concerned about is that the more environmentally friendly some of these vehicles seem to be, the more expensive they are. Or they're so small that they don't fit a family of three, much less a family of four. So I think that's some of the things that concern people. But no, the green vehicle is not hurting the environment.
Right. For more information on animal conservation, contact the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo at cmzoo.com, and for more information on green cars, go to gm.com or chrysler.com.
Finally, Lee and Mark Mallory report on the increase in gun sales.
According to the Department of Justice, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosive, gun sales have increased from 2008 to 2012. We have interviewed a couple people about gun sales to get their view on the increase of gun sales throughout the past 4 years.
One, why do you think gun sales have increased in the last 6 months?
It probably has a lot to do with the election. It has, probably a lot of rumors with the whole Texas seceding and everything, and of course that's a bunch of nonsense, but you never know, people are paranoid and just, I guess just trying to stock out.
Yeah. And do you yourself purchase any guns?
I've purchased one so far, just one so far.
And why did you purchase it?
The reason I did was more about home safety, I guess. There's a few break-ins not too far from me, and I guess I really wanted that to happen to me, or at least try to protect myself. And
Myself have purchased guns. I purchased them for protection, but then I've also got them for hunting matters. Whenever we go out and do different type of hunts, go and hunt deer and do all different kinds of things like that. That's mainly the only two of my purposes that I have before. And gun sales have increased in the last 4 years. Do you think they're going to continue to increase over the next 4 years? Do you think they'll decrease? What's your view on that? I think they're going to continue to increase, especially in the shortcoming right now, because of the way everybody's afraid that they're going to take away people's rights to buy guns. Why do you think gun sales have increased in the last 4 years?
Well, I mean, a lot of people need extra protection. I personally like extra protection. You never know when you're going to need something, but they're trying to do stuff with school, and I don't know if they're going to pass that law anytime soon. I would always vote yes for that, to have gun control at school. And concealed carry, I'd like to do that.
And do you yourself own a gun?
I own a rifle just to hunt with, but one day I'll probably get a pistol just to, when I'm older, because I don't have kids right now, so I'll probably have one.
Just for protection?
Yeah.
And lastly, do you think that gun sales are going to increase or decrease in the next 4 years?
Well, if you're saying it's increasing now, there's no reason it shouldn't increase, just because nobody knows what tomorrow's going to bring in our economy and our government. You just never know.
According to statistics and gun owners in a region, the reasoning behind purchasing and or owning a gun varies from their own protection to fear of losing their rights to owning a firearm.
We would like to thank the contributing reporters for their stories. Today's broadcast was produced by Robert Benton, Caleb McCaig, Ada Delgado, and Lance McFarland.
Tune in January 2013 for the next Texan TV News broadcast. I'm Kayla Fritz.
And I'm Lucy Pound. Thank you for watching, and happy holidays.